A year in Oxford. The autumn wind drifted gently through the ancient streets of Oxford, carrying the scent of golden leaves and the faint chill of early season. Ella Duran stood before the old stone gate of the university, gripping her suitcase tightly, her heart full of grand ambitions. She had planned her life from a very young age. Oxford, for many, it was a dream, but for Ella, it was merely a stepping stone. 1 year of study, then back to America to pursue the political path she had already chosen. There was no room for mistakes, no room for emotions. But life always finds a way to make even the most perfect plans meaningless. The boy appears on her first day of class. Ella arrived early and chose a seat by the window. Sunlight streamed through the old glass panes, illuminating her notebook. "You think you'll like that seat?" A voice behind her made Ella turn around. A young man stood there, tall, with a smile that was half teasing, half challenging. "Excuse me?" She frowned. "The window seat. People think it's romantic, but really, the light makes it harder to focus." "Thanks for the advice," Ella replied coolly, "but I think I can decide for myself." He chuckled softly. "We're going to have a lot of debates." And then she realized he was the lecturer, Jamie Davenport. Ordinary days become special. At first, their relationship was nothing but arguments. Jamie always questioned her, always challenged her views, and it annoyed her. But it also made her curious. They began talking more, from lectures to a small cafe on a quiet corner to long walks along the River Thames. Jamie was unlike anyone Ella had ever met. He didn't care about being successful by the world's standards. He lived slowly, savoring the smallest moments, a warm cup of tea, an old book, a sunlit afternoon. "You're always in a hurry," Jamie once said as they sat on the grass. "Because I have goals," Ella replied. "And when you reach them, what then?" Ella fell silent. She had never thought that far. Love arrives like a whisper. There was no single moment that marked when they fell in love. Not a confession, not a sudden kiss. Just one day, Ella realized she looked forward to seeing Jamie every morning, that his laughter had become the sound she wanted to hear more than anything else. One evening, under the soft golden lights of the old street, Jamie took her hand. "You know," he said gently, "I never meant for this to happen." "What?" "Falling in love with you." Ella looked at him. Her heart raced, not with fear, but with a feeling she had never known before. "Me neither," she whispered, the truth that couldn't be escaped. But happiness is always fragile. One day, Ella noticed Jamie had changed. He was more tired. His smiles came less often. Their meetings became fewer. "Are you okay?" she asked. "I'm fine," he answered, too quickly. But Ella didn't believe him, until she found out. A medical file, a serious illness, and time running out. Ella's world shattered. "Why didn't you tell me?" she asked, her voice trembling. Jamie looked at her, his eyes calm but filled with quiet sadness. "Because I didn't want you to stay out of pity." "I don't pity you," she cried, tears falling. "I know," he said softly, "and that's exactly why I was afraid." The choice Ella didn't sleep that night. Going back to America, that was the plan. A clear, safe future. Staying meant accepting loss. She stood between two paths. One was logic, the other was her heart. The next morning, Jamie didn't see her anywhere, and he thought she had chosen to leave. But love is hard to let go. 3 days later, as Jamie sat alone in his small room, the door opened. Ella stood there. Her eyes were red, but her gaze was steady. "I'm not going anywhere," she said. Jamie froze. "Ella, I don't know what the future holds," she continued, her voice breaking, "but I know one thing. I want to be with you, whether it's for a day, a month, or a year." Jamie closed his eyes as if trying to hold something inside. "You're gonna hurt," he said. "I know. You're going to lose me." "I know." "Then why?" Ella stepped closer, placing her hand on his cheek. "Because I love you." The most beautiful days, they no longer counted time in days or months. They lived in moments. A soft, sunny morning by the window, a spontaneous trip to the countryside, an evening reading side by side, without saying a word. Jamie taught Ella how to slow down. Ella taught Jamie how to believe in love. Some days, he was very weak. Some days, she had to pretend to be strong, but they were always together. The last day, winter came. Snow covered Oxford in white. Jamie lay in bed, weaker than ever. Ella held his hand as if letting go would make him disappear. "Do you regret it?" he asked softly. Ella shook her head, tears streaming down. "Not for a second." Jamie smiled. "Then that's enough." He closed his eyes, and this time, he didn't open them again. After everything. The following spring, Oxford was once again filled with sunlight. Ella stood by the river where they used to walk together. She was no longer the girl who only chased goals. She had learned to pause, to feel, to cherish every moment. Jamie was gone, but his love remained. In every breeze, in every ray of sunlight, in her very heart. Ella smiled softly and whispered, "Thank you for giving me the most beautiful year of my life."